Don't be alarmed, the quasi-shimmering light before you is a trans-dimensional gateway to other worlds, other voices, other thoughts, and other realities. Up feels like down, and down feels like the number 7 on a Wednesday morning. Don't worry, that quivering, blood-boiling sensation under your eyebrows is all a part of the charm. Welcome to the PCC Multiverse.
And we're back with another episode of the PCC Multiverse. This is Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from the Pop Culture Cosmos. Happy holidays to everyone out there. Hopefully you are having a great holiday season, a truly great holiday season at that. But also as well, I go ahead and host on not only the Pop Culture Cosmos, the PCC Multiverse, State of Pro Wrestling, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you catching all of our great shows. Make sure you go ahead, if you're listening out there, to give us that 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, if you're watching, like, share, subscribe. Subscribe today to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air. Because I saw the notification just now on my phone that we're on YouTube. That gave us that notification. So if you subscribe today, you'll get a notification on when we go live with our latest Pop Culture Cosmos, PCC Multiverse, State of Pro Wrestling, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, or the Lakers Fast Break podcast. But it wouldn't be a PCC Multiverse without a good friend. And since TJ and I have been missing each other on times, he's been busy here, I've been busy there, can't get together on certain times, but I will try to track him down before the Christmas holiday season because I know this man is going to be busy, but he is a good man indeed. You know why he's going to be busy? Because he's got the Happy Hoarder going on. He's been selling a lot of collectibles, selling a lot of Christmas gifts. He's been happy hoarding away, and also as well everything that he does with Humanican Media. He's got an esports team. The man does it all. It is, of course, Josh the Great Peterson. What's up, man?
Oh, heck yeah. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing okay. Today it's going to be a mixed emotions type show. I'm not going to tell you it's the usual bright, cheery, sunshiny show, but in order to give you the full gambit of pop culture news, we do have to go ahead and hit you with some heavy stuff, but also as well with some good stuff as well. And for the most part, it'll be good. But yeah, we do have to lead off here in a couple of minutes with something that really sad news that we have to go ahead and report that I'm sure a lot of people are already aware about, my friend.
Yes. I know where we're going, man.
So before we get into it, I did want to mention we are going to have our thoughts on the Game Awards, some of the announcements. How was it? The award winners, just some basic overview on that, plus the announcements of some new games on the way. Did we like it? Did we not like it? Was it worth watching? I know Jeff Keighley will throw all the millions of viewers out there, people, hundreds of millions of people watched, whatever. Was it worth it? We're going to go ahead and talk about that. Plus also as well, Fallout Season 2. It just dropped on Amazon, Episode 1. About, as we're recording this 27 minutes ago. So what's our thoughts heading into Fallout Season 2? We'll talk about that. As that show starts and that season starts, Welcome to Derry is coming to an end. We'll talk about that as far as HBO Max. We haven't had a chance to touch on it, but wanted to spend a couple minutes touching on it as well. The general reception behind it. Knives Out 3, that just showed up on Netflix this past weekend. I have a review for it. Avatar Fire and Ash hits this weekend, so we got to touch on that. And will it this time leave a cultural footprint with audiences? I will talk about a certain trailer that is going to be fronting Avatar Fire and Ash this weekend. That actually is already leaked out on the internet. And Josh has an MCU review of The Incredible Hulk as well. Josh, any thoughts before we get into it, my friend?
No, let's get it started, man. Let's do this.
Well, we're going to get it started on a somber note because, as you know, earlier this past week, fortunately, there was the horrific and tragic murder of Rob Reine and his wife Michelle in the Hollywood area and thereabouts. Him being one of the most credible and outstanding directors of the past 40 years of cinema. He has some very notable claims. This is Spinal Tap, which revolutionized the mockumentary. Um, as far as what he's done as a director as well. Princess Bride, which I think a lot of people are just would say he's just been outstanding and it's just something that I think that everybody has to go without saying how wonderful that movie is and how many memories that has brought to a lot of people out there. Just so many great films. Of course, Ghost of Mississippi, The American President, A Few Good Men. Can you handle the truth on that? Misery. I saw that with my first wife on our first date, and the shocking scene that's therein that got Kathy Bates the award for Best Actress. She was sensational in it. Or
That's the one where she breaks the author's legs, right, in the bed.
it's the one. Yes,
Yeah.
it was our first date with my first wife, and she immediately just grabbed me like no tomorrow. And yeah, they always say that don't take your dates on a first date to the movies. Well, I have to say maybe they're sadly mistaken on that. But maybe if it's Misery, but I won't even go down that road even more. When Harry Met Sally, as well, obviously that was a quintessential movie of the late '80s. That kind of brought in that style, like You Got Mail and those Nora Ephron movies as well, kind of in that mold. Right there, Stand By Me. How could you forget when you're going with a filmography of Rob Reiner's great films? How could you not forget Stand By Me and how important that was as far as to the mid '80s and how that developed so many people as far as their thoughts on what it was to grow up in adolescence and all that. But again, Spinal Tap, just truly an outstanding film in and of itself. Your thoughts, my friend, on the loss of Rob Reiner? Absolutely, just terrible, tragic. Um, it's gone all over the gambit as far as the words that have been spoken. And again, we don't try to go political on this show, so I won't go into it. Just a truly tragic time for Hollywood when one of its great directors is now gone away from its heart.
Yeah, and we never condone negative comments about anybody. All right, so just leave it at that. But what's sad to me is that they keep talking about it was one of his sons, right? He had two sons.
Yes, he has four. They have four kids in total, I believe, and one of the sons at this present time has been booked on charges of homicide at this point.
Yeah, what's crazy is like we took journalism, right? Like that's our major, and there's all these people posting pictures of the wrong son. So this poor guy is probably walking around in public with people thinking that he's the one that allegedly murdered his parents, which is like it's sad too. But I mean, Rob Reiner was a legend, man. Like that guy was. Granted, I mean, I don't know what he's made recently, if anything, but
well, Spinal Tap 2 came out just a few months ago, and that did not endear itself to audiences.
Was that a Rob Reiner film, or did someone else do that?
No, he did that because it brought him back not only in front of the camera as Marty DeBurgi, the fictional director of the documentary in the first place, but he was him directing behind the scenes for Spinal Tap 1 and 2. There is a Spinal Tap at Stonehenge, the final finale, which has been completed. It is ready to go. It was going to be showcased in 2026. That, because of the events now, has been put on hold in regards to what its future will be and when it will be released. But I just wanted to let you know he still had a live film of Spinal Tap in its final performance live that may or may not be shown at some point in time. But I just wanted to let you know that he still has one project left remaining on the queue. But that's of his most recent films. That's probably the one that people know of because it just recently happened. But most of the movies that really garnered him acclaim came in the 80s and 90s, where he just reeled off one great film after another.
Yeah. I mean, he was definitely one that I remember growing up, and like who can forget Princess Bride, right? Like everybody's watched Princess Bride. Like that film alone has just cemented him probably as an absolute legend now and for years to come.
Absolutely. So, I guess what you can say is it was a very somber day, and hearing the news and how tragic it was, and what happened, and everything behind it, and how it just the family dynamic in that family household has deteriorated to the point where it just the events happened as it were, and we offer our condolences to the family of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. And again, if you have thoughts on Rob Reiner and his filmography, what memories of Rob Reiner's films do you have? Whether it was the Princess Bride, the Spinal Tap, A Few Good Men, American President, Ghost of Mississippi, Misery, When Harry Met Sally. I mean, he was able to transcend several different genres and do that all well. And as one of the preeminent directors of the 80s and 90s, I think that it goes without saying where his place in film history will be. Of course, his acting, he's acted in quite a few projects. We've mentioned Spinal Tap, but also he's most known for his part in All in the Family in the 70s, when it was the preeminent sitcom in all of America. So, again, just a really talented individual, gone too soon. And of course, as you know, the news outlets are still continuing to report on it as we speak. But if you have thoughts on the passing of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle, please let us know your thoughts. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. But there's more to talk about on today's show. Wanted to get through the tough part first. It's always best that we do that. Although this may be a little bit tougher for us, Josh, or almost as tough. I mean, obviously, when you're concerned the somber news of what happened to Rob Reiner, but the fallout for the Game Awards, depending on who you talk to, there's some pretty sour feelings. There's some pretty bad feelings, some pretty good feelings as well. Your thoughts on the Game Awards itself? It was almost a clean sweep in all the major awards for Expedition 33. Your thoughts on how well it performed? It earned many of the awards out there. Were you satisfied with the way that these awards were handed out? Again, for the Game Awards, people need to understand that even though Josh and I want to see it more from the Game Awards, from the awards aspect, we both realize that it is a 2 to 2.5 hour to 3 hour walking line of one commercial after another commercial after another commercial after trailer and trailer. The commercials are just like game trailers, and the game trailers are just like commercials. It's all one and the same. We understand that that's the priority for Jeff Keighley and not the awards, and the awards is just like this little facade, that they do it on. But we are there for both the major announcements and the news awards. But what did you think overall about the Game Awards, my friend?
I mean, it was not. I mean, I guess it wasn't really any like crazier than it normally is. Like it's not. It wasn't. It didn't blow me away. That had some cool trailers, but nothing I was really like biting at the bit to play. It's what am I trying to say? And so okay, a lot of people were upset about Expedition 33.
Claire Obscure, Exhibition 33, which won Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Independent Game, Debut Indie Game, Best RPG, Best Art Direction, Best Performance, Best Score, and Music. Anything else I forget?
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll through the things. There's best. Yeah, you said Best RPG, Best. I think you covered
Game
all
of the
them.
Year, Game Direction, Narrative, Independent Game, Indie Game, RPG, Art Direction, Performance, and Score, and Music. All right there. Go into that studio for Claire Expedition 33.
So in one camp, you have a bunch of people being like, "Oh man, they got such and such game got robbed by Expedition 33," and that's saying that is obviously rigged or whatever. But I'll be honest, like Expedition 33 really earned a lot of these awards. Like it was a truly amazing game. Like it was not a game that people were expecting to be, or that they were expecting to be as big as it was. And it's crazy to see that it reached this many people and got them interested in, the old school turn-based action style RPGs. I think that I think that they earned it. And I don't think that we're going to see another game like Expedition 33 for probably many years.
How do you equate, though, the success of Expedition 33 to something like, in that similar genre, something like Baldur's Gate 3, which, 2 years prior, also achieved as a turn-based game a huge amount of success? Now, that leads you into Divinity, which we'll talk about here, and I'm sure in a sec.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with Baldur's Gate 3. Like, I know a lot of people really liked it, but that Baldur's Gate is a massive experience, whereas Expedition 33 was a game you could play in 6 to 7 hours. So I mean, I think it was, everything about it was like tight and compact, and it was you didn't have to do like a major time investment into it. And I think that that's a good formula, and that's probably why so many people played it, because they're like, oh, I don't have to set aside years of my life in order to finish this game. I could play it in probably a week or two.
Well, alongside that was the many announcements as far as games being announced during the course of the Game Awards. Latest releases, release dates, time frames, years when they're going to be, some of these games are going to be released. Your thoughts on the Game Awards as far as some of the things that were announced? Did you enjoy some of the announcements? I mean, there was no big, oh my gosh, like a preeminent title that I think that just like bowled over everyone.
Yeah.
But there was some good stuff there. I think for me, it was interesting. I'm going to say, from the director of Mass Effect, Casey Hudson, is coming a new Fate of the Old Republic Star Wars game. I found that the most interesting for me. But they also came back, speaking of Star Wars, another studio debuting as well a Star Wars racing game, which takes you back to the Star Wars racing games of old, if you know what I'm saying. Wouldn't it have been great, though, if they actually combined into one game with Fate of the Old Republic and the Star Wars racing game as well?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But I mean, I imagine that maybe they started out doing that, but
Well,
or
they're
that
two different studios doing it.
no, no, I realize that.
Because Disney, once EA gave up the IP as far as that to the exclusive rights, all these studios are now just like, let's make a Star Wars game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think. Sorry, what I'm trying to say is, I don't think you'd be able to put a game like that onto another game, because both of these games sound like they're going to be pretty big games. So I mean, like, it just depends on if you want, how big of a side game do you want on a bigger game. But I'm looking at like what has come out. Like, I am actually really excited about Tomb Raider Catalyst, because like I really like what am I trying to say, the newer Tomb Raider games. Like, I really loved Shadow of the Tomb Raider was not my favorite, but the the definitive edition, I forget what the second one was called. Like, those were really good games. So I was wondering if they're going to go back to that, and I think that they're really.
Let me bring it to you like this, because Square Enix no longer has the rights to Crystal Dynamics, the studio that makes these Tomb Raider games. The Crystal Dynamics went off on its own. Amazon Studios is doing is working with Crystal Dynamics on, first off, a remake of one of the earlier Tomb Raider games, The Fate of Atlantis, I think it is.
Legacy of it.
Yeah. And that's coming out on 2026. And then, like you said, Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is supposed to be an even bigger game, like the ones that we saw in the previous decade that were made by Square Enix. But the question I have for you is, Square Enix dropped Crystal Dynamics and Tomb Raider based off of the sales of those previous games. No matter how much you and I like the first and the second one, didn't like the third one very much, and I played through it and finished it, didn't like it. But first and second ones were pretty darn good. I'll just like that, especially the second one. Your thoughts, though, my friend? If it didn't make money the first time around, after the people went gaga over that first one, what are your thoughts as far as how well it will do under the auspices of Crystal Dynamics working with Amazon?
I think it'll actually do really well. With the other two, it's hard to know like what was the goal for the game. What were the sales figures that they were trying to reach? Because we were getting those games in the midst of the Uncharted franchise wrapping up. So it's like what you had to basically choose your Tomb Raider, you're an Uncharted person, but we haven't had any games in this style for a really long time, and I think it's a prime time for Tomb Raider Catalyst to come out and basically scratch that itch for everybody.
I will say this: if the Tomb Raider TV series, conveniently on Amazon Prime, that's coming to Amazon Prime, does well, I think it will be something you and I will see a lot of uh, uh, good for. Like for instance, Fallout. Fallout, I told you debuts. It's actually 45 minutes ago. Its first episode just dropped for season 2. If the excitement continues for Fallout, when a new Fallout game comes, it will not get the same kind of reception that Fallout 76 got. I can guarantee you that. A lot of people will be excited for a new Fallout game. If Tomb Raider, this new Tomb Raider series does well, then the 2026 remake, the Atlantis game, and the 2027 Catalyst game, if it comes out on time, there will be a lot more excitement for that. And at least it gives it a better start, like it did in 2015 when that first one came out? Was it 2015 or earlier?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that one a lot of people were excited about. You and I were excited about that Tomb Raider that had not been dormant for over a decade, finally coming back out. That excitement will return if the TV series does well, my friend.
Yeah, and I hope so. I hope that this is the beginning of more Tomb Raider games, because I actually really enjoy them, and I think there's a lot of backstory to Lara Croft that could be told, that didn't get a chance to get told very well with like the original pixelated games, and especially like the older movies. So I'm very much looking forward to this game.
Housemarque Soros has been delayed to April 30th, but conveniently around the time when GTA 6 would have been coming out. So, imagine that one, my friend. There was a lot of date when it came to date announcements. They conveniently put most of those date announcements. I don't know if you caught this. Late February, March, or April. These were the games that were mostly affected by the GTA 6 move to the fall, because most of these titles may have been a workaround as far as, well, we're going to delay it till later next year, or we're going to try and squeeze it in for late this year. We're just going to try to get out of the way of the GTA 6. Now GTA 6 moves to the fall, and watch, a lot of announcements were happen during the Game Awards, with a lot of games that were announced in late February, March, and April. But I do want to mention that Exodus, the game that most notably has Matthew McConaughey in a voice role, that's moved to 2027. South of Midnight is coming to PS5 and Switch 2 next spring. Four Loop, I don't know if you caught that. That's from J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot and the creator of Left 4 Dead. That's going to be a co-op shooter that's coming out. Larian Studios, though, I think a lot of people, especially with the social media tease in advance of the Game Awards, a lot of people were really excited to see that the Divinity series, that was so much a part of their past, is coming back again with Divinity.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Yeah, I know that's what the statues were all about, right? The Divinity. Yes. So I hope, keeping my fingers crossed, man. Maybe it's good. We need more big action adventure games.
Is there anything else that caught your eye? The new Resident Evil game that's coming up? Was it Resident Evil Requiem, I think, if that's the case?
We've seen a lot of that. Control Resonant is one that we have not.
Yes.
That was the premiere for that one. So I'm still, trying to finish the last one, which I need to do, because I need to finally play Alan Wake 2. But it'll be interesting to see how they further build out this universe and continue all this connected tissue that they've put together.
JSJ, if you check it out, it's right there. It's right there. it has all my thoughts on John Cena's last match, and I've already posted it, so it's available to you on the Pop Culture Cosmos on YouTube. It's the video right next to this one, and I'll leave you on that. But I do have some very pointed thoughts on that. And JSJ said, "Why is Amazon releasing one episode per week? Should release all their episodes at once."
For what? For Fallout?
It's funny because Fallout is going back to the old school broadcast. It's going to the broadcast.
I didn't know that. That's dumb.
Yeah, it's going broadcast networks one by one. So I mean, Pluribus on Apple TV. Nobody's making a big deal about that one going one episode per week. My friend, I don't understand. How do we make you happy? Because people complained about if it was all a binge all at once. People complained about if now it's groups like the way Stranger Things is doing it in bulk, in chunks. Now we're doing it the old school way, one every week. They just can't make you happy. They can't make you happy, JSJ. They can't make anyone happy.
Yeah, it's it's funny because I think we talked about this before, but we all switched to streaming services because we're not getting commercials. We can watch everything in one sitting. We can get TV the way we want it, and now everything's going back to like a broadcast TV model, going back to getting ads. Like, there are more ads in a streaming show now if you're not paying for the one without commercials than there ever were on network television. And you have to wait with a lot of shows now to watch them. One episode comes out a week. You still got to watch all the ads. And now it's basically, it's going back to what it was. So it's pretty crazy. It's almost like they planned this.
Almost like they planned this. My friend, imagine that. But again, it was the Game Awards. If you have any thoughts, and JSJ, I put right there, there's the link to my thoughts on John Cena and his last match. But if you have any thoughts out there on the Game Awards, please let us know. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Anything else resonating with you? Because Control, well, but I want to, before we leave Control resonant, I want to ask you about Remedy Studios, because again, Remedy Studios with Alan Wake 2, Control, which was Game of the Year at the TGAs the year it came out. It seems to be a very much, how should I put this? Ant-Man is very much beloved by the industry. Ant-Man is very much beloved by Marvel Studios. But that doesn't always translate to Ant-Man being a success, a commercial success out there. Same thing with Remedy's games. Remedy's games are much beloved within the industry. Remedy games are much beloved with critics and the media press. And I'm not saying that they're not good, because they are. I've not been a super huge fan of them. I think they're for the most part. I enjoyed Control. I enjoyed Alan Wake. I enjoyed my time with those IPs. But I'm not a super huge fan of Remedy games. You are a bigger fan of Remedy games than I am. So tell me, where is this disconnect? Because if you look at the sales for these games, the sales have not matched what the media and the industry have hyped on these games.
Yeah, but I mean, also, I think, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's that bad, because look at PlayStation is gave Alan Wake 2 away for their premium members. Control,
I got it free on Control. I got Control free. Yeah,
Control is on all types of services. So I mean, they have to have made enough money off of it in order to justify doing things like that. But
well, when they give away those games for free, they're actually still paying the studio.
No, I realize that. Yeah, but I mean, they have. What am I trying to say? They have to.
They're paying them a rate at some point in time. I don't know what the discounted rate is that they're paying them for doing so, because they're not just doing this for gratis. I mean, they go to Remedy Studios and they say, you know what, PlayStation or Epic or whoever. Well, I'm going to Xbox. We're going to run this for free, but we're going to go ahead and pay you, let's say $12, $14, $17 for every person that downloads it. So just wanted to let you know. That's I knew you knew that already, so I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't have an answer for that, but I like the games and I'll keep playing them.
No, I like them too. I like them too. I just think they're good, but they're not game of the year like Control was.
Yeah.
When I played it, I didn't scream game of the year with me. And I know you're a big Alan Wake guy, and I thought it was pretty good from the immersion aspect of it. The gameplay kind of left me wanting more, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess we're in a King Arthur situation here because like I thought it was
Oh
like the
no,
first.
this is not King Arthur. I agree with you. We're both on the same ship. I'm just not as far as with you on that ship. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. You
yeah.
think they're great. I think they're very good or good. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Yeah,
Hmm.
King Arthur, we're like, you're over there on that continent and I'm on.
Yeah. Right.
JSJ says, can Dispatch get nominated for Game of the Year 2026? I don't know what their rules, and I did get a breakdown of their rules recently. And remember, it did qualify for Best Debut Indie Game. So you would have to say, even though half of its episodes were not out by the time that the deadline for reviewing games were out, my guess is that yes, you could technically say it could be available for Game of the Year 2026, but so was Indiana Jones and the Last Circle, and I think Indiana Jones and the Last Circle was better than many of the games at the top of the Game of the Year list. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I agree too. I mean, honestly, like most of the time, the game of the year, the game of the year award at the Game Awards, like I don't necessarily always agree with it. And I think there are better games out there. This is the first year I think I actually find myself being like, oh yeah, I think that one was worthy of that title.
I think they'll forget about it. Anything that came out in November, December, like for instance, Metroid, for instance, they'll forget about it. They'll forget.
Yeah,
Yeah, it came out in 2025. Did I would not hold out a whole lot of hope. Is what I would say to you right now.
right. Yeah, I
Remember,
understand.
your GTA 6 is going to win all the awards. So I mean, they're already being, they're already printing on the
Yeah, they might.
trophy.
I don't even know why they're gonna have a Game of the Year or Game Awards that year.
Exactly, indeed. But my good friend, it is, of course, the Game Awards. If you have thoughts on the debuts, if you have thoughts on the winners, or, I mean, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 won all the major awards. So that wasn't really much left
Yeah.
after that as far as awards to goes. But if you have thoughts on the Game Awards as a whole, the releases, the news, the information, the awards winners, please let us know. PopCultureCosmos at yahoo.com. But there's still much more to talk about. I wanted to go ahead and mention It, Welcome to Derry. We haven't really touched on it, but it has been a great series as far as the first two revival films that came out, both big hits. HBO liked it so much, HBO Max, or whatever it's going to be called, or Max, or however it's going to
There
be
been an
long.
update on that situation? What's going on there?
Once that hostile takeover bid was put out there, it's like that's it. We haven't heard much. Maybe I'm assuming that if it's taken seriously, that the shareholders are going to, they're going to come to a vote for that. So they'll have to decide if they have interest for it. Even if they voted for Paramount on it, that's still no guarantee that the board would side with Paramount as far as the board for HBO or Warner Brothers, excuse me, and that they would side with Paramount. They still are very favorable on the Netflix purchase. But as you and I both know, you think the Xbox took a while to complete. You think the Xbox was a doozy. This is going to be a real doozy before we find out one way or another if it gets through.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I did want to mention again, it is, of course, the Pop Culture Cosmos and the PCC Multiverse right here for you. JSJ said Skarsgård still looks amazing as Pennywise. Yes, I saw an actual video of him, them doing the garb on him as far as they're concerned, because he came back for periodic one. But did you get a chance to check out or hear much about It, Welcome to Derry? It got generally positive reviews, and there might be an indication that there's more to come in the world of it.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that they from what I understand, there's plans for a third season too. So I haven't watched it myself, but I really enjoyed the movies, love the book. So I think at some point, hopefully soon, I'll be able to sit down and actually watch it and get an opinion for myself. But the people I have talked to who have watched it are all, have great things to say about it.
There you go, my friend. Absolutely. So, what are your thoughts up there on it? Welcome to Derry. Again, I've heard nothing but good things and positive things about the season and the second season and the third season going forward, like Josh said. So, if you want more please let us know your thoughts. Popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. And I did want to go ahead and mention to you, Josh, I did see Knives Out 3 when it debuted on Netflix. Didn't know if you got a chance to check it out too. Did you by any chance? Wake Up,
No,
Dead Man?
I have not had a moment. I've been wanting to. I just haven't been able to do it. What's it? Break it down for me, man.
I will not break down spoilers for anyone out there because it is a murder mystery, and it is probably of the three the most whodunit or the most Agatha Christie style break it down, going ahead, finding out the mystery of ending. Of the three, I think it's the most in that straightforward mystery telling tale. I thought the pacing was not as well done as the first two. I liked the first two more. I really think that number two, for me, goes 2-1-3, but three is still positive. It's still a positive for me. It leans into heavy religious themes and political themes. So if you are not comfortable, or if you had enough of political stuff or religious stuff, as far as being, bombarded on you, if in your opinion, this may not be the film for you because it is heavily embroidered with it, but it is a performance piece, Josh. And I want you to take note of exactly who's in this movie and who does well in this movie, because there's some really, really good acting. I want to make note that Josh Brolin is way over the top on this one, but it's in a good way as Monsignor Jefferson Wicks. I also want to note to you, Josh O'Connor. Great name, Josh, right there for you. Because I don't know if you saw earlier today, as this show is being recorded, but Steven Spielberg's latest movie that's coming out in late June of next year, scheduled as of right now, Disclosure Day, that came out.
I'm intrigued.
He is a great part of that movie as well. So look, Josh O'Connor could be that next big hot name that people see out there in Hollywood, but he plays one of the main cast members from Father Judd, is what he's in the movie as, and he does a really solid job. Daniel Craig is just, he enjoys this character. He enjoys Benoit Blanc. You could tell. Glenn Close is really good in her role as Martha, and again, the cast for the most part is pretty good. Kerry Washington I really liked as well in this movie. So again, it really was a well acted film for the most part, but the pacing, I think, lets us down from time to time. But the way it gets around to finally solving the mystery, for the most part, is pretty good. There's a little thing at the end that you're like, huh? Why did Benoit Blanc do that? And then it's revealed in the next scene why he did what he did, as far as how what the murders happen and how it's portrayed. And you're like, huh? Why did he do that? Oh, I see why. Okay, all right. I'm not sure I agree with it, but okay, I see why. All right, okay. So it is what it is. I thought it was a solid movie. Again, I put of the three, I think it is number 3 on the list, but it's still I give it a thumbs up, my friend.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Because I remember the second one, the first one I thought was really great. The second one got, a little weird. Not, it was strange. It was a strange movie. So like
and I think that's why it appealed to me. But I one or two, if you say one is your favorite, I won't argue with you on that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, right now, this, as far as like the stepping stone goes, 1 is the best, 2 was not my favorite. So I'm hoping that 3, gets me closer to where I was feeling with 1, but we'll see.
But again, if you're not into political or religious themes, you're going to get a heavy dose of it in this one. So you be prepared. But otherwise, like I said, it's just a little pacing issues for me. That just think that this I could have been better paced. But outside of that, I thought this was an okay movie. And again, it eventually got you where you needed to go, and ultimately, that's good enough for me.
Yeah. Well, good, man. I'll watch it. I got some things I need to try to finish before the year's up. I want to watch a couple more 2025 things in 2025.
Speaking of 2025 things in 2025, I did tell you that I saw F1 when it hit Apple TV, also conveniently on the same day that Knives Out did. So
tell us all your
yeah.
thoughts. Let's hear them.
Oh, you heard them already. JSJ says he's got his tickets to Avatar. Enjoy, my friend. I may or may not see that. I still got to watch the second one because I'm not a huge Avatar fan. Like my friend director Rob McCallum has always said, Avatar does not leave that cultural footprint. And maybe I was just traumatized by when I went to Disney World and I had to stand there in line for 3 hours listening to Avatar noises and themes, so waiting for the ride. But maybe that's just why. But I'll watch. If I'm gonna go see the third one, I'll see the second one too. I like Stephen Lang, by the way, as a character, so I may just see it for that. But F1, beautiful movie. It is on the short list. The Academy Awards, got to go ahead and do Academy stuff. So they announced their short list for all the different categories earlier today. And one of the things was cinematography. F1 is in that. And so also for sound as well. And for sound and for vision, it's an absolutely fantastic film, Josh. Beautiful look at. It's one of the best racing films I've ever seen. But then there's two other components. We've got sight, excellent. We've got sound, we've got excellent. We've got acting, and then we've got story. I think those are four key components. Those are four key components of a film, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do I can I just say they got 2 out of 4 right and be done with it? But
yeah, it was yep. Do you see what I mean when you watch it and you see how bad the dialogue is in the movie?
I don't discuss this with you very much, but I am a pretty good racing fan. I followed IndyCar, NASCAR, and casually Formula One for virtually my entire life. In no way, shape, or form does what transpires in F1 actually relate to anything in real life. And they found every which way in Formula One to find obscure rules that they think that they can still follow in order to get away with it. It just absolutely is asinine. The story was asinine, and the acting was just as bad.
That was like the worst part, though. Like you have these big stars, they're bringing in Brad Pitt, and you're expecting him like, oh, he's going to be a kick-ass racer, and then he's just there to play dirty. Like that's all he does. Like that was the most boring racing scenes I think I have ever watched in any movie.
And they were so beautiful to look at too, and that's the problem. That's what I have as problem. And the fact my wife got all upset because the fact is you cannot jog along the side of the strip like he was jogging on the strip. His famous shot right there from F1 you saw in the trailer where he's jogging. You can't do that in Las Vegas anymore. So sorry, you haven't been able to do that for 20 years in Las Vegas. So that absolutely got her upset. And I'll just say this, that opening scene, Josh, the opening scene about him at the 24 Hours of Daytona, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Nobody is driving while fireworks are going off and all that. Okay.
Well, it felt like a pure waste of like what could have been something good.
Yes, absolutely. So overall, I give it 5 out of 10 because, like I said, 2 out of 4 components were met. Beautiful to look at. Great to sound. I had the surround sound on. Much better than my local theater nearby. This was just absolutely fantastic as far as from a visual and auditory sense. And then I actually had to try to follow along with the plot and the acting. And that's where it went out the door. But again, it made Brad Pitt a lot of money. It made the studio a lot of money. And there you go. And Apple TV finally has a hit on their hands in the movie theaters, which they had to spend like $1 billion in films before they finally got there. So props to them for that. But before we head on out, my friend, I wanted to go ahead and go to Disney time for the rest of the show because I wanted to go ahead and talk to you about Avatar, Fire and Ash this weekend. Should we be of any concern that this will not reach the same audience? Because I don't think it will reach the same amount of audience as the others. But my gosh, if it does $1.5 billion worldwide when it's at the end of its run, which is a possibility, is that a failure? Is that absolutely a failure for Avatar Fire Dash?
I mean, if it's over $1 billion, I consider it a win in any category.
You would think, but if it doesn't reach $2 billion, a lot of people will consider it a failure because the other two have. And it just goes to my point that, what I agree with Rob McCallum. Rob McCallum was the first one to tell like it is many years ago when we had this conversation that Avatar doesn't have a cultural footprint. Once you see it, you feel like you're obligated to see it. You see the nice, pretty special effects, and then you're done with it. And then you move on to the rest of your life. It leaves no remembrance as far as something special you have to revisit time and time again. And for me with Avatar, it's just like, okay, the special effects are fantastic, but in the day and age of 2025, everybody else may have caught up.
Yeah. So okay, the first one had a decent story, right? Like, had a decent story. We got to see some cool things. There was some depth to the characters, but then the movie followed the formula, right? You had the introduction, you had the climbing action, climax, falling action, resolution, and then we ended up with Avatar 2, which basically took the first one and did it again. But this time the themes, instead of Jake Sully discovering Pandora, it was Jake Sully raising a family, and then, oh, what do you know? The humans are back and we're gonna have a fight again. And that's kind of what this one looks like again, except the humans are teaming up with the fire people, and then there's gonna be another fight again. Like, it doesn't feel, and I truly believe that a lot of these publications out there that have already like preemptively given this movie like 9s and 10s, I think that either they're on the payroll of somebody, or they just like don't, their opinions just don't count on what makes a movie good anymore. Because, and who knows, this movie might be great, it might be great, but it is, just the fact that it was nominated for an award before it even came out, like, it just makes me really question like what is happening with Hollywood.
Metacritic score on it right now is 61, so a lot of people are just going
So, yeah,
but there is a lot of 8s. There's some 9s. IGN gave it a 9, and then Slash Film gave it a perfect 10. So there is some divisiveness as far as what people think about this film. And again, if it doesn't break the $2 billion barrier, is Disney going to be dissatisfied with it? Is it going to be perceived as a failure? Because I think that's a very real possibility that it only grosses about $1.5 billion. I wouldn't think that's a failure, but compared to the other two films, you might have to say it might be.
Our standards are clearly different from what everybody else's are.
And I wonder if, as we go to the other thing with Box Office Mojo, when they go, I wonder if they'll go back and forth on the worldwide numbers for that, just like they do our old friend.
Which went down again. Demon Slayer went down again. Like, what in the world?
It's gone down to 664. Last time we spoke, it was in the 700s, and now it's back down to 664.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know the answer on that one, my friend. I don't know why Box Office Mojo has particularly chosen that film, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, as the film it wants to mess with on a weekly basis. So I don't get it. I just don't get it. But again, If you have thoughts on Avatar Fire and Ash, JSJ has already got his tickets to it. Have you got your tickets to it as well? Please let us know, popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. But before we head it out, my friend, in front of the Avatar Fire and Ash is widely expected to be, if you sit down and watch it, the first Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday trailer. And the first one, with all reports that are out there, I've only seen bits and pieces, and it seems to be Captain America, right after the events of Avengers Endgame back in the 1940s or 19, just after he clears everything up, going into his home, showing his family life, showing him with his child, showing him right there with his beautiful, I'm assuming, wife at that point in time, just showing it all domesticated. But again, it also goes to black and says Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday after he was quoted, like you said, in saying that he wasn't going to return to the Marvel.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I've been looking, frantically searching for these trailers, and I don't know what's AI and what's not. Like maybe this is misdirection.
You and JSJ both, my friend.
But I mean that would be awesome because I would love to see Chris Evans back in the role of Captain America. But I thought that they were pretty set on having Sam Wilson, take that role. So I don't know. We'll see, man. I am excited. I know by probably, yeah, you're right. Probably by the time, Thursday rolls around, that we will have seen on the internet some form of the Avengers Doomsday trailer. But I don't know what to expect because I literally know nothing about this movie, man. I know what actors are probably going to be in it, but I don't know anything about what the story is going to entail. And I think that that's like the most exciting part, right? Because when Endgame and Infinity War came out, we had an idea of what was going to happen. We knew that there was something involving the Infinity Stones and Thanos, but we really have nothing here in regards to Doomsday or Secret Wars.
I'll say this to you, like I said, told my youngest daughter, who is not the huge Marvel fan, but we keep dragging her all to all these Marvel films because she wanted to understand why that he is coming back. Simple, cold, hard dollars. Because I went to Box Office Mojo last night and I showed her. I said, I said to my daughter, just like I'd say to you, Josh, when you go to Box Office Mojo, where are the 3 Marvel films that came out this year? Where are they ranked worldwide? Well, if you look at them, they're ranked outside of the top 10. I'll give you a little clue on that one because you'll see right there that they're in worldwide. They've all 3 underperformed at the box office. This is a goal to bring back the Russo brothers. This is a goal to bring back Robert Downey. This is a goal to bring back all your favorite characters to try and spice up the Marvel universe, because after years of trying to escape the original Avengers, I think they realized that money-wise, it may be financially in their best interest to go right back in.
Yeah, I mean, I at this point, like I think that that's the only path forward for the MCU. People don't
Right
care
there.
about
Right there.
people don't care about all these new heroes. They want the heroes that they know and love. They want Robert Downey Jr. They want Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth. They want all those guys to come back because nobody, like, as we've seen, right? Nobody cares about sorry, this sounds mean, but like there's no interest in the Sam Wilson Captain America. There's no interest in Miss Marvel. There's no interest in a lot of these heroes that have shown up in this universe except for Spider-Man. But it just makes you wonder, like, when these what are they going to do after this? What's next? Is the MCU officially dead after Secret Wars happens? Because at that point, I don't think they're all going to come back. I think this is going to be like, okay, well, we did this thing, and now it's time to put this behind us for good.
So you'll be able to see that. And also, it's been heavily rumored that they're going to showcase 4 different trailers in the coming days for Avengers Doomsday, with the next one being Thor. So as they come out and as they roll out, we'll keep you updated. I wish we could show you that, but we'd be copyrighted and blacked out by Disney before you can say Disney. So we can't do that right now. So we'd like to stay on the air. But if you have thoughts on the new Avengers Doomsday trailer or Avatar Fire and Ash and how well it will do at the box office, please let us know your thoughts. Popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. And before we head it out, my friend, speaking of the MCU, it is time for an MCU review with our latest victim being the Incredible Hulk, my friend.
Okay, so this movie was good. I liked it. It's not my favorite. I don't go back and go like, oh, I want to watch Incredible Hulk. I thought Edward Norton was a great Hulk. I mean, I still stand by the the notion that I would have loved to see him doing what Mark Ruffalo was doing, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if the issue was Edward Norton or it was the contract with Universal or the pay or whatever. But like, it would have been cool to see Edward Norton continue to play the Hulk, in my opinion.
Wow, over Ruffalo?
I think so. I think so. But I mean, I think that they're also two very different types of Hulks. I think Ruffalo's more of a comedic Hulk, whereas Edward Norton's is a more like a serious, emotional version of the Hulk. So I guess it just depends. It would have been interesting to see his take. I'm not saying that I would rather see it. I'm just saying it would have been interesting to see that.
One of the best Stan Lee cameos in that film, by the way, as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, where this stuff drops on the bottle. But
Mhm.
yeah, the movie is good. The movie is good, and they had that Robert Downey Jr. cameo in the end when he's talking to General Ross, and that was kind of the only thing that connected it, because outside of that, what am I trying to say? Outside of that connection that they had, that post-credit scene, this movie can kind of stand on its own without actually being connected to the MCU.
So what do we got next, my friend? Again, Incredible Hulk. I agree with you. Although I'm going to give a shout out to Eric Bana. Of the three Hulks, Eric Bana, Edward Norton, and Mark Ruffalo, I like all three. I don't think any of the three have done a bad job at it. But would you kill me if I said Eric Bana is probably the favorite by?
No,
analysts?
absolutely not. I thought Eric Bana was a great Hulk. I just thought that he was handed a very crappy script.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And it's so funny how in Captain America: Brave New World they took elements from the previous, both I believe previous Hulk films, and they took elements from each and combined them as part of what went on in Captain America: Brave New World. So you could take that for what it's worth. But my friend, what's next on the list for the MCU review?
So we already did the Punisher movie, right? We did Punisher Warzone. Did we do that one already? Because that's technically next, but that was like, actually, we can do that one next, because that was a horrendous movie. So I got some thoughts on that one.
The first one was with John Travolta. The second one was with Ray Donovan, correct?
Yeah. Thomas Paine did play the Punisher in the first one.
Yeah, no, I know that, but I was like, John Travolta was the bad guy in the first one.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he's a very awkward bad guy in that movie.
Yes, and now he's playing Santa Claus and doing a revival of his Grease Lightning bit in Grease.
Yeah, of course he is.
Pitching cellular phones, I might add it while doing so. So I'll just leave it at that. So again, my friend, it's been great talking to you. Again, we're not King Arthur on Remedy. Okay, I'd say they're good games. They're really good games.
Yeah.
They're not game of the year level for me. Does that make sense? They're like 7.5, 8s for me. Is that better clarification?
Yeah, no, I understand. Honestly, I don't know. I don't really know the finances of the game, so I can't really answer the question you were asking. But I will continue to play them. I think they're great. I just there's an audience for everything, and and I think that it is hard for people to latch on to that universe, but I think also, smart of them to do a complete remaster of the original Alan Wake and give people a better like jumping on point for that.
But like you said, since they are their own publisher, they must do well enough with these games to continue to make the next one, and so they will be.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, indeed. But I want to give a big shout out to JSJ and everybody who's watching on YouTube and also as well on Humanican Media and also all of our social media outlets. Truly appreciate it. Stay safe this holiday season, and we will be back with more episodes in the coming days and weeks with our best of and more for 2025 right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos. So for Josh the Great Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the PCC Multiverse. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.
Don't be alarmed. The quasi-shimmering light before you is a trans-dimensional gateway to other worlds, other voices, other thoughts, and other realities. Up feels like down, and down feels like the number 7 on a Wednesday morning. Don't worry. That quivering, blood-boiling sensation under your eyebrows is all a part of the charm. Welcome to the PCC Multiverse.